Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? It's your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor, and today I'm going to talk about Karate Kid Legends, which was released in theaters over the weekend, and I went to the theater to go see it. This is one of my most anticipated movies of 2025, so let's review. Now, before I get started, let me just say right off the bat that there are definitely two types of people that went into this movie. There's people that saw the trailer prior to watching this movie, and then there's people that probably didn't watch the trailer and went into this movie a bit cold. And if you're somebody that went into this movie cold, I'm gonna let you know that I'm going to spoil this movie for you because I really feel like I can't really explain how I feel about this movie without spoiling. Because if you saw the trailer for this movie, you thought it was gonna be one way, but then you see the movie, it turned out to be another. So consider this your spoiler warning, because I really feel like I have to take you how I feel about this movie step by step in order for you to know whether or not this is a journey that you want to take, whether you go to the theater to see it or you wait till it hits Netflix or whatever. But long with a disclaimer out of the way, let's review. So Li Fang is the nephew of Jackie Chan's Mr. Han, in which Li Fang, he moves to America with his mother, played by Ming Na Wen. They move to New York, and he stumbles across a girl in which the two of them, they hit it off, but then he meets her former boyfriend, who turns out to be a dickhead, and then after that, you would think, hey, typical stuff for a Karate Kid movie. And then after that, he meets the girl's father, in which he owns a pizza place, and he is a former boxer, but he owes some people money. And it turns out the person that he owes money to is a loan shark and the trainer of the ex-boyfriend of the girl he's seeing. And then one day, the girl's father, she sees him doing karate, or kung fu, I should say. And then he gets the idea like, hey, teach me how to incorporate kung fu into my boxing skills so that he can enter this match, so that he can win some money and pay off the loan shark. And then, spoiler alert, after that, he loses. And so Jackie Chan, Mr. Han, comes out of nowhere. Then he gets the idea like, hey, let's enter you into this tournament called the Five Bros, in which you win some money. And then you've also helped your friend's father win some money to pay off the loan shark. And then after that, that's when the movie basically turns into a legacy sequel in which we are reunited with Mr. Han, played by Jackie Chan, and Ralph Macchio, who plays Daniel LaRusso from the other Karate Kid movies and Cobra Kai. And then after that, he goes into the tournament, he wins, and that's it. Now, for the past, I guess, 5 or 6 weeks, I have been rewatching and reviewing all the Karate Kid movies. All my reviews are up on this channel. Check it out. But to sum up how I feel about the series, the original, classic. The second one, Karate Kid Part 2, I think is the second best within the series. Karate Kid Part 3 is a bit silly and doesn't hold up to the first two, especially that first one. But I think the Cobra Kai show has kind of made this movie a lot better over the years. The next Karate Kid, which apparently the creators and people who's behind the Karate Kid franchise as of now just refuses to acknowledge. I think this movie does have elements that are on brand for the Karate Kid franchise, but overall, everyone considers it the weakest, and I agree. The Karate Kid, or Kung Fu Kid, as this movie really should be called, I actually thought this was a nice little remake. Obviously, it's not as good as the original, but I think it's a lot better than what people give it credit for. And then, of course, Cobra Kai. I do think that there were some elements from the later seasons that are a bit problematic, but overall, I think this is an excellent show. And now, here we are with Karate Kid Legends. How do I feel? I was slightly underwhelmed because if you were following that plot synopsis that I gave in the beginning, you'll probably feel the same way I feel, and that is, this is basically like two movies fighting each other. They try to stitch them together, and it just didn't quite make for a cohesive film. And to the movie's credit, I did like the element of, the student training someone, and I thought that was a bit new for a Karate Kid movie. It's a bit bizarre, but overall, I was going along with it, but I knew that wasn't the reason I signed up for this movie, because it is the second half in which we have the mentors from the previous movies coming in and train a new student, and even that just kind of felt underwhelming because the movie turned out one way and then it turned into a legacy sequel. And like I said, I liked the first half, but I feel like the setup for how we got to the second half could have been a lot more better. I thought the second half was going to be what the movie was all about. I'll admit, I do like how this movie doesn't quite have any references to the show, though they do have a cameo at the end, which put a smile on my face and made me bust out laughing. But overall, this movie is its own thing. It has no connections to Cobra Kai. This is allowed to be its own thing, which I do appreciate, especially for people that didn't watch the Cobra Kai series, TV series. Now, the new kid, played by Ben Wang, and from what I understand, he's a newcomer in terms of acting. I thought he was okay in the role. You know, he's definitely competent when it came to all the karate and kung fu action. It is nice that this franchise does acknowledge the Karate Kid remake with Jaden Smith. And I don't know why Jaden Smith didn't show up for this movie. I mean, maybe the writers didn't have anything for that character, or Jaden was just too busy, or thought that he was a bit over this. But overall, I do like how they bring back Mr. Han, played once again by Jackie Chan, and he's just as likable in this movie as he was in the original. Well, he was in a different stage. Well, the character was in a different stage in his life in that movie, and then here we just see him all happy. He's found balance, he's found a new purpose, and now he is the more seasoned and mature mentor here, Shifu, as they call him in this movie. Ralph Macchio, who plays Daniel LaRusso, a veteran within his franchise. I mean, he was fine. They didn't really give him much to do outside of, hey, I'm just going to leave my family in LA and come to New York for a little bit and help Jackie Chan. But okay, whatever. But he's better served in the Cobra Kai series than he was here. Ming Na Wen, who plays Dr. Fong, Lee Fong's mother within this film, and she basically the mother that doesn't want him getting back into kung fu or karate because of a family tragedy that happened, and then she comes back around at the end. But overall, Ming Na Wen in this role, I mean, hey, I'll never say no to her getting work, but at the same time, I feel like it's a bit of an insult to her to put her in a movie with karate action and y'all do nothing with her. I mean, I'm sure she's not complaining that she doesn't have to do action in a movie, but still, knowing what she's capable of in terms of action, it just felt kind of off to me. Sadie Stanley, who plays Mia, the love interest of the Karate Kid within this movie, I thought she was serviceable in this role. Nothing more, she's a bit of the mature one between her and her father within this movie, and speaking of which, her father, who was played by Joshua Jackson, which I know he's been in other things over the years, but to me, he'll always be Charlie Conway from the Mighty Ducks movies. But it is cool seeing him here, and that's actually him doing all the boxing stuff. So, and like I said, his role in the movie was interesting until they completely switched gears. His opponent, Connor, he's really just a cardboard cutout of any other adversary within previous Karate Kid movies, long hair included. Overall, I just felt like this movie just fell short of trying to be a Karate Kid movie that was trying something new while also being a legacy sequel. I'm going to give Karate Kid Legends the shoulder shrug emoji. That's it for the day. Have you seen Karate Kid Legends? If so, let me know what you think in the comments section below. This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.